Hello, and welcome to this session on writing the U.S. college application essay with a focus on the undergraduate application. My name is Hisham Karoub, and I'm the Education Essay Advisor, currently based at East, and I'll be your presenter for today. The essay component is a very important component of any university application, not only applications to U.S. universities. So we'll explore the essay as one of those very important components of the application. We'll explore the reasons why universities require it. With some samples, we'll see also the questions that are usually required by undergraduate students, especially those who are using the common application platform and applying to college. There are 7 prompts. You're asked to choose one and respond to it in addition to other college-specific essays. So the essay is the main essays, let's say, are the main writing components that universities usually require of their applicants. They require them, as we will see, for many reasons. And out of the application materials, the essay is the one that you can easily control and manage because you're writing it from scratch. So you have full control over the essay compared to, let's say, other parts of your application, like your grade 11 average and final average. So you do a year, you're done with that year. You cannot go back and do grade 10 again or grade 11 again to get a higher score. Like the SAT, for example, also you have some control over it. Like you do it once, if you don't get a good score, you can do it again like next month. But it's not like the school report, school grades. The essay, however, of course, not graded. There are no grades. It's not quantity that they're looking at, but rather quality of your thoughts. How do you think? How do you write? Of course, what do you think? What do you hope to achieve, etc., etc. They look for a lot of personal qualities as well that may are not usually reflected in a grade on your math. So you have 100 over math, 100 over 100. Great, academically you're a great student, but there are other skills in addition to academic skills like leadership skills, initiative skills, communication skills, etc. There are many things that also the committee or the admissions committee usually want to know their students on a personal level, especially when they're applying for scholarships and financial aid, especially when schools put a lot of emphasis on the profile of the students they admit to their colleges and their universities. So we will start. I have a few slides here on the essay. So we'll start with those slides, and then we'll move on. So we're celebrating 25 years this year at Education USA, and this is kind of a special year and a special admission cycle. So starting with the essay, of course, at this point, you know, there are many other elements in your application that you are submitting. You are submitting your high school grades. You're submitting an SAT score. If the colleges you are applying to require the SAT, you're submitting a TOEFL score or an IELTS score for English language proficiency. Also, this is a requirement of all international students. You're submitting recommendation letters from one counselor and 2 teachers. Some universities take only 1 recommendation letter. Some universities allow you to submit up to 5 recommendation letters, including at least one from a school counselor. You're submitting an activities list on the common application. Sometimes some universities require a CV or a portfolio, especially if you're applying for majors in art and design and architecture, for example. So in addition to all of those, there is the essay requirement. Now, usually universities require one essay. It's called the Common Application Essay. On the Common Application platform, as we said, you have 7 prompts to choose from. We will see them. We'll discuss them one by one and see what is required, or what is each of those questions actually asking of you. And there are some other college-specific questions or additional questions in addition to that one main personal essay. It used to be called the personal essay or personal statement. Now it's called the Common Application Essay. So it is, as we said, part of the application. It's one of the most important yet difficult. You can this is not the essay you write in your English class at high school. In one session, maybe 50 minutes, the teacher takes it with him or her home, and they take their time reading it, and they have coffee, tea, they drink, whatever, and they really want to go through those ideas and those meanings, and they correct you and they give you sometimes comments on the grammar and how to fix them. They spend time on that essay. Yes, that's at high school, but at college, the admission officer has maybe two minutes, maybe 3 minutes maximum to go through your writing, through your essay. And so it is very difficult to write something that short and that captivating. So this needs time. This needs a lot of reflection, a lot of proofreading, a lot of introspection, a lot of deletions, sometimes removing chunks of ideas that you feel do not contribute anything to the general question. So there is a lot of difficulty in writing this short essay. That's why you need to give it time. Fortunately, however, as we said, it's the one that is most under control, because it's like zero. You're starting from scratch. You don't like it, you can just tear the paper, throw it away, start all over again. You can have all the time in the world to write the most effective and best essay that will eventually supplement all the other elements of the application. So knowing that it's a holistic process, the admission process to US universities is a holistic one, meaning there's no one item that will get you in and no one item that will get you out. Your application is seen as a whole, as a full package, if you want to. So there are elements like the essay that may sometimes supplement some other, let's say, weakness or shortage in your activities. Let's say you may not have a lot of activities, but you have a lot of original ideas and you have a lot of great ideas for activities to come to do and participate. So as we said, you have test scores, you have your GPA or your school report, you have recommendation letters, you have activities and extras. All of those are more or less other people's ideas and their academic performance. So like your grades, test scores, GPA, etc. They are grades, they are numbers. As we said earlier, they're not indicators of your personal qualities. Recommendation letters, yes, your recommenders, your teachers may or will often highlight some of your personal abilities. They will usually speak highly about you. No recommender will speak badly about a recommendee or a teacher or a student. Regardless of whatever they say, it's still a third opinion. It's still another person's opinion in you. So you see how your picture is being built as you submit each of those items in the application. So you have Let's say you did the SAT and you got a score above 1450. Wow, that's very impressive. And then you submit a TOEFL score, let's say 100. That's very, very good, actually, really good. 100 over 120. And then, you're building up that impressive profile, that profile of a good student. And then comes the recommendation letters from your teachers who would also highlight other qualities in you, like leadership qualities. Of course, these also will be reflected in the activities, but when you are talking about your activities, it's usually very brief and you're limited to like maybe 150 characters. 150 characters, those are about like maybe around 30 to 50 words maximum to talk about that activity. So also you don't have a lot of space there to really showcase your communal, if you want to, skills. So that's when the essay comes in, because the essay is purely you, is purely your own thoughts, your own ideas, your own English, your English language writing abilities, of course. And it's also very important compared to speaking. You may be very good in speaking, but not as good in writing. Meaning, for example, you may know how to say the word hermeneutics, but may not necessarily know how it's actually spelled and how it's written. So that's where writing also comes to complete the picture of your English language ability generally, not just reading, listening, and speaking, but writing as the ultimate productive skill in any language learning. So also it might be a digression. Nevertheless, it's a good digression. Usually acquiring the language or language proficiency takes place on 4 levels. You have 2 levels that are receptive, in which you are receiving information, like reading or listening. And then you have 2 productive skills, which are speaking and writing. That's where you're actually producing speech, producing language, either writing it out or speaking it out. Of course, productive skills are more challenging than receptive skills. A lot of people are good in listening and reading, but not necessarily in writing, and definitely not in speaking. So here's where the writing comes to bring everything together, because you cannot be a good reader if you're not a good writer. Sorry, you cannot be a good writer if you're not a good reader or a good listener or a good speaker. And of course, lastly, about writing is the way we write reflects the way we think and the way we speak. So it's all out there on the page or on the screen, how systematically, how logically, and how original you are in your thoughts. So that's the what. That's the essay, the what, and of course the why. So more on the what. That's where the personal element of the essay comes in, and it's actually a narrative essay about you. A narrative essay compared to an expository essay or a compare contrast essay or an argumentative essay, regardless of the types of essays you have learned, the common application essay, you narrate stories about your life, you narrate stories about your reasons why you're seeking a certain a path or applying to a certain major. You share long-term goals, you share short-term goals, depending on the questions that the university is asking. And most universities would want to know you on an up and close personal level. So in that essay also, you will be answering questions about your activities, about what drives you, about what values do you have. That's kind of a sample of the things you expect to answer on those essays. Also, we have a few other samples later on in the presentation. The why. Now, of course, we've said a lot about the why so far, but there are even more reasons. In that essay, as we will see, as you see the questions, you can show evidence that you're an introspective person. An introspective person is someone who actually they do think about the things that happen with them. They reflect on them. They think about their own motivations and what they have learned, for example, especially when we make mistakes and we think about those mistakes or the behaviors that led to those mistakes. Why did it happen? How could I have avoided that? How will I or should I behave so that I avoid making the same mistake again? This is all introspection. And you will see one question will ask you, or it's almost a standard question. Recall a time when you faced a failure or obstacle or whatever, or recall a time when you actually failed in something, and they ask you to reflect on it and tell them what happened, what did you do to overcome it, what did you learn, etc. So this is all about introspection and resilience as well. How resilient are you in the face of obstacles? Do you face them heads on, or do you crumble and fall apart and break down and surrender? Lastly, they will also look at initiative. They would want to see that you're an engaged individual, an individual who is who wants to give back, who has a sense of their community, who has a sense of the need to give back, the need to change or solve problems, and actually they do not just observers, they are actually, they take action and they start initiatives. They start clubs at school, they start organizations in their community, they start non-profits. Why not? All for bettering their communities and the world in the process. Also, the university will know what are your reasons for seeking a very or that specific program at that specific university. Why are you applying to our program and not to other universities' program? Why this major? You have to be very convincing. And why our university, not another university? The responses will enable an admissions committee to test or gauge your the compatibility, if you want to. How compatible are your values with the values of this institution and the culture of the university that you are applying to? This is very important because in today's world, our values determine, or generally speaking, not in today's world, but ideally, the way we behave is dictated by what we believe in or our set of values. If we believe in good, we will behave in a way as to ensure the best possible outcome for everybody and the good outcome for everyone. Maybe this is the most simple principle of morality, is to behave in a way to ensure the best possible outcome for everyone involved. But yeah, that's also another digression. But all of those thoughts, all of those ideas are weaved into the fabric of your essay, and eventually they are like things to pick up on your personality and other aspects of being. So as we said in that essay, you will usually give the university an idea of who are you, what is unique about your profile, what special thing will you bring to the table, as they say, What are the prospects of your success in the future? Are you driven? Are you focused? Are you independent? Are you mature? All of those are measures of how successful you will be in the future. And of course, your writing ability is connected to your ability to communicate ideas clearly, effectively. And lastly, are you a good fit, generally speaking, to the US education system in general and to the institution you are applying for? These are the common application essays. There are 7 prompts that usually you're asked to choose one from and answer in 650 words, in addition to other questions that each college might require in addition to this one. But you will know when you apply to the university and you're on the requirements page, and then you. So if you go through these questions very quickly, you'll see that they are asking about those personal qualities you have. They want to know more about you, where you come from, what's your background, are you talented, what's special about you. As we said, specifically when you are applying for scholarships and financial aid, especially for universities in the US that give financial aid for international students, the full ride, the 100%, the fully covered, then this is where the essay becomes extremely important in them knowing what, because this is what will make you different than someone else who has 100 over 100. So if you and someone else are applying to engineering and you have 100 and they have 100, we cannot decide based on the grade. SAT, okay, wow, you both have a great SAT score, maybe even the same score. TOEFL, etc., etc. So we're moving on. It is very possible that you and someone else will have the same GPA, will have the same TOEFL score, will have the same SAT score, will have the same recommendation letters, more or less, because as we said, teachers usually, normally, speak good about their recommendees. What comes to the essay, that's where it's very unlikely that your essay and someone else's essay will be the same, that your life story and background is the same as theirs, or your hopes and ambitions and original thoughts are the same as theirs, right? So that's where you show how unique you are. And if you go through the questions, for example, question number 1 says very clearly, some students have a background, identity, interest, or talent that is so meaningful they believe their application would be incomplete without it. If this sounds like you, then please share your story. So like, what is something that you have like very, 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 very special about your background or identity or interest or talent that you think we, as admission officers, we should know about you, that is not reflected anywhere else in your application? And you think, if you don't know this about me, then you don't really know me. So what is it? So background, identity, interest, or talent. This is all personality. Question number 2 is more of a standard, a very common question. The lessons we learn or the lessons we take from obstacles we encountered can be fundamental to later success. Recount a time when you faced a challenge, setback, or failure. How did it affect you? And what did you learn from the experience? So again, the same idea we talked about. They want to see how resilient are you? Do you have what it takes to rise above challenges, to formulate a certain, when faced with a problem, are you a critical thinker? Can you break down the problem into small components and then solve it out and overcome it and learn from the process as you go? Question number 3, reflect on a time when you questioned or challenged a belief or idea. What prompted your thinking? What was the outcome? This is a very intellectual question. It engages you with ideas and concepts that you challenge or question. It's very important, powerful word. So reflect on a time when you questioned or challenged a certain idea. What made you challenge it or question it, and what was the outcome? So kind of the discussion on values and the way you think and what you believe in and what you don't believe in, etc. Reflect, number 4, reflect on something that someone has done for you that has made you happy or thankful in a surprising way. How has this gratitude affected or motivated you? Very unusual question, you know. Tell us about that one time when someone did something really good to you that made you feel happy and was totally unexpected. This is probably one of the least chosen questions among these. Discuss an accomplishment, event, or realization that sparked a period of personal growth and a new understanding of yourself or others. Again, the same idea. Tell us about something that happened with you, an experience that made you realize new things about yourself, that made you understand other people better, yourself better, etc. Personal growth, as they say, that sparked a period of personal growth. It's something that made you grow. So it's really, you have to really put a lot of thought into what are the ideas that will go into those 650 words. Number 6, describe a topic, idea, or concept you find so engaging that it makes you lose all track of time. Why does it captivate you? Who do you turn to when you want to learn more? This is like, what are you passionate about? What is something that you wake up at 2 a.m. thinking about and you're passionate about? This is it. Like, you lose all track of time when you're doing it. And you know, we often associate losing track of time with things that we enjoy, with things that when we are happy, time flies, right? We say. So when we are doing something that we really, really like and we're passionate about, we're happy, and also we lose all track of time. So that is the question. Describe that thing that makes you lose all track of time or that you are so passionate about. It could be topic, idea, or concept. Number 7 is the free prompt. So there is no one, they're not asking for a specific thing. Share an essay on any topic of your choice. This could be something you've already written, or one that responds to a different prompt, or maybe a prompt from your own design. You can formulate your own question and then answer that question, as long as this may be free, but it's not easy. As long as you're answering one, it still has to answer to one central concept or idea that they are asking. Now, that's the common application essay. However, there are additional questions that universities may ask, especially the universities that offer financial aids. Those universities will have more than the common application question. We call them supplements or college-specific questions. These are just samples. These are not all. A university may not have these, but these are some of the questions that we compile as samples from different college-specific universities, questions for universities. So, for example, the first one, how does University X satisfy your desire for learning? Like, what attracts you to our university? Why are you coming here? This is what they say. A common two ideas actually are the why us and the why major. So why mechanical engineering, let's say, and why mechanical engineering at Purdue, or etc. So why us, why major? These are the usual questions. But again, there are some universities have some crazy questions, as you will see. Number 2, what aspect of University X excites you the most? Again, what is it about us that you like? The same idea. Describe 1 or 2 activities you do and their significance. You know, they want to know more about who you are outside academia and outside the classroom. Describe a person in fiction, history, or the present who has influenced you and tell why. Discuss an issue of personal, local, or international importance to you. Like, what are your values? What is it that you care about, you know, in life? Describe your intended major and your future plans. This is the why major. What does having good character mean to you? There you go, a very intellectual, philosophical question there. And then the last 2 questions there I have from the University of Chicago. The University of Chicago is notorious for its college-specific questions, and it's known to be as the the most creative of all universities in their college application questions. For example, what did the tooth fairy say? That's the question. There are no other ideas, details, prompts, whatever. It's just that. And they ask you to actually create a story whose answer or thematically, whatever, is answering what did the tooth fairy say. And this is not 200, this is not 650 words. This is 2,000 words. That's a lot. Where have all the flowers gone? Again, same question from the University of Chicago, but you expect questions like this. So where have all the flowers gone? Again, go ahead, 2,000 words, write an answer, a creative answer, maybe a short story. Most likely, most students opt for like a short story or a short anecdote where they're able to be creative in answering these questions. So they can be very standard. Why us? Why major? What do you like about us? Why are you applying here? They could be about values. What do you believe in? And they could be as creative as who let the dogs out, for example. I don't know. And then you have to answer that question in 2,000 words. So the how, very, very simple plan is to imagine that this essay is a movie and there are different scenes. Each scene is offering something, let's say 2 to 3 scenes. And these would be significant moments in your life, of course, that are relevant to the question. And then you just develop them, arrange them as if someone is watching, as if someone is watching a movie whose script is your essay. So think about it as such. Here is a sample on a student applying for creative writing and showing, not telling. So you can tell me that you love biology all day, but show me nothing that demonstrates your love for biology. Like, show me, how do you love it? Like, okay, I love it. I watch a lot of documentaries. I love this documentary that's called A Genetic Odyssey, blah, 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 where Satari, you talk some about it, some info about it. You show me that you've done an internship at a biomedical lab or at a biology lab. I've done a biology summer camp. I'm working on a research on biodiversity with Professor X at University X. This is showing that you love something compared to telling. This is a very short sample about a student applying to creative writing. So as you can see, she's very interested in storytelling, and she says storytelling has shaped her. If something has shaped you, it means that this something has a very important and significant impact on your life. Now you have to show me, how did something shape you? Examples, specifics are the ones that will win at the end of the day, the details. So storytelling has shaped me. At 4, I read The Lion King until I'd memorized it. I'd snuggle in bed as my dad read Wilderness Champion or Tom Sawyer. Later, I found audio and visual storytelling, mesmerized by This American Life and Whiplash. Now, note the narrative style. As we said, it's a narrative essay. At 4, later, at 10, now, etc. This is narration. Now, I create my own stories through newspaper satire, podcasting, and locally broadcasted radio. So that paragraph shows how passionate this student is about storytelling and how that since 4, she's been involved, she's been reading short stories, watching movies, and still now she's writing her own stories, or he, and they're using podcasts as well. So they are still in the storytelling domain. Majoring in creative writing would be the next chapter in my life of storytelling. So it makes sense that someone who's really into stories and into movies and into all that kind of genre would logically love creative writing and most likely want to major in creative writing or any language and literature degree, basically, because they all involve at some point creative writing. And then the applicant also shares some info about what do they plan to do with creative writing in the future. Like I would explore past narratives and how they can be digitally innovated, whether exploring media's disfiguration of truth, developing screenplays, or analyzing scenes. I hope to pioneer new networks of connection. So this is also sharing some future uh, plans with the admissions committee. So a very quick guide, as we said, read. You have to read a lot of good college essays, and don't copy, don't adapt. Just read a lot of good material, good essays, so that you get an idea or a sense of uh, what works, what flows, and what doesn't. Think about significant moments in your life, brainstorm for, I don't know, as much as you can, and then you're going to choose 2 to 3 of those which are the most significant, and then you can start developing them and talking about them. At first, write freely. Don't write the essay intro, body, topic, sentence, support, structure. At first, write freely. Just write, right? You may write 5,000 words and end up reducing them to 200, right? But it's always better to have a lot and reduce than to have nothing and inflate with meaningless or repetitive ideas. So that's basically what free writing is writing without any constraints. Don't worry about grammar at this point. You don't have to develop the whole idea. Sometimes you're writing an idea and you're blocked. You stop, just keep it, stop, move on to another idea, start developing that. You will come back to this one, remove, delete, add. Give yourself time, let ideas marinate so that you know what works and what doesn't. Oftentimes, you remember things later and you say, that was a great idea. I should have had that, you know. Or you can say, I should have deleted that idea. I don't feel like it's good. And as a general rule, if it doesn't flow, if you don't like it, if you think there's a break, there's a problem, there's anything there, then there is anything there. If you don't like it, the admission officer will not like it. So make sure that you really proofread, really go through this essay through drafts and drafts and drafts. Typically, you need at least 5 drafts until you get a really good essay that you're at least happy with submitting. Right? A really great essay is never done. There's always areas and room for making it even better. These are also some free questions to guide you in developing those ideas once you have brainstormed for them. So revise, create a rough plan, proofread, get second ideas, very quick theme and content do's. Answer the question. A lot of times students do not answer the question. So make sure that you're taking notes and knowing exactly what they're asking of you. Do not use complicated words. Do not play gymnastics with language, so to speak. Be short and clear and simple, because remember, there is something called flow. The admission officer doesn't have a lot of time to read and check words that they may not be familiar with. What's that word? They're not going to look it up, right? Most likely, they're not going to look it up. So make sure that you're simple and short and clear. Do use your personal experience, do refer to other people, and definitely show your passion to things. Do not be monotonic or melodramatic. This is not the place to blame the world. Oh God, why me? Or be a drama king or a drama queen. Do not lie. Definitely do not lie or exaggerate. If you haven't done something, do not say that you've done it. Do not write generic essays like copy paste from here and there. That shows lack of effort. And really, it's a very simple essay. If you just do some brainstorming, give it like a couple of weeks, you will write the best essay without needing to copy from anyone. And that's a very serious offense. Plagiarism is a very serious offense. Definitely do not use AI. Do not use ChatGPT or any other program to write the essay for you, because they all are predictable patterns, and it's very It will show in your grades on the TOEFL, it will show on the interview, it will show. If your English is bad and you use AI, well, it will eventually, it will show that you have used or you cheated in your exam. Definitely do not complain, do not end up on a negative tone. Even if someone did something wrong to you, do not start pointing fingers and blame it all on them. Just move beyond that and reflect on what you have learned and how you managed a certain adversity or a certain confrontation. Do not disregard the word count. 650 words is 650 words, 300 words is 300 words. Depending on the question, make sure that you do not disregard the word count. Old high school experiences are not advised to talk about. Always focus on the most recent activities that you've done. Do not make apologies. Do not narrate your CV, definitely. Like in Kaza, I did that, and so I did this, and so I did this, and that's it. Like answering them bluntly. You already have an activities list, and you're most likely uploading a CV somewhere else in the application. So this is not the place to narrate your CV, nor repeat ideas. Make sure that there are no repeated ideas. As we said, first drafts come in very long. Do not worry. It's always, as we said, better and good to have a long draft than to have a short essay and start inflating it with whatever ideas. Conclusions also need some extra attention. The closing is as important as the opening, and the way you end it and link things together, bring things together. Sometimes you may need to change the chronological order of things. Yeah, why not? It's creative, but don't overdo it, and don't be over symbolic in your essay. You're not writing a poem. A lot of students sometimes fall into this pit of writing very convoluted, complex language and structure, and they go back and forth and etc. And they play a lot of games in their essay. Make sure that you do not play games there. There is no room for games here. Be short, be clear, be simple. It always wins any argument. Less is more. This is the golden rule in writing. If you can say something in 10 words, do not say it in 50. You will learn this when you are reducing your essays to match the word count required by the question. And lastly, if something sounds like a cliche, then it is a cliche. So do not use it and avoid using it altogether. Lastly, have someone read your essay for feedback. Your English teachers are the best first source usually. Hopefully they are able to provide really, really good constructive feedback on your writing. Do not be afraid to start all over again. If you write something and you don't like after 4 or 5 drafts, you still don't like it, then fine. If you don't like it, I will not like it. Better start all over again. And this is something, as we said, you will not finalize on the same day or in one session. Give yourself enough time for things to settle in your head and get you where you are satisfied with the written essay so that you can move and submit. Lastly, these are our contact info. If you like more support, if you like more information about any specific college questions, do feel free to reach out. We'd be happy to assist you. And thank you for joining, and have a good day and best of luck.